Okay, so Indian almond leaf, Ketapang, Katapa, Talisay, it's all the same thing. Indian almond leaf, this is what you guys mostly recognize this as. It's the most widely used thing in the world for this, for water conditioning. And the reason for that is it pretty much is the most widespread generalized thing you could use. It's not like a specialized item. It's kind of just like I'm going to do a little bit of everything and do it good enough that it's obviously something very utilizable. It's going to impact the pH of your water. It's going to, based on concentration, and your start point of your water chemistry and everything else like that. I've already talked about that in the other video. It's very important to go back and watch that because you have to start with ideal water for optimal results, or even just to be extremely safe. But anyways, so it's going to impact the pH of your water, it's going to have antifungal properties, it's going to have antibacterial properties, and it's going to actually have, so long as you're running heavier concentrations, just like anything, like the more heavier you're running in lower pH, the more antibacterial and antifungal it's going to work, and it's going to really shine through for you, and you're going to be able to see just how big of an impact all this stuff realistically makes. But like I said, I mean, each one of these things, especially for this, too, like really important. Even if you have like a pH of 7 and you're using this, like the betas might be doing okay. But realistically, the anti-parasitic effects of this too, they're not going to really take place at that pH that high. That's very high. Your pH, if you're running 6, whoo, okay, you're good. You're going to see all the effects of this stuff really, really fast. I went over this before, but don't put the leaves in the water. In the big picture here, you're going to notice that, well, hopefully you don't notice because you listen to this, but the big picture is you put the leaves in, for adult betas especially, then you're going to experience in the large picture here, when you're looking at hundreds and stuff like that, more issues than what it's worth. If you have a breeder that does that and stuff, what they're doing too is they're just putting it in there and then yanking it back out after 3 days tops, and then that's what they're doing. That has a lot of risks involved there that are really unnecessary, but the reason why a lot of them will still do that potentially is because on a large number like this, you can't really, there's only so much you can do, so you kind of got to find the most fluent, effective system and just roll with it. But the consequences for any of us are much smaller than a hobbyist who has, that was my 1 beta, or that was my 5 or 10 betas, and now they're have a problem. Like I said, impacts the pH of your water. Antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, this is all really good stuff. This is a very, very, very good thing to be using. Extracts are very important as a whole, to be able to precondition your betas and stuff like that. And the reason why it increases fertility, and this one does too, fertility and all that stuff, is because your beta is in prime health. It's not because, for this one, or any of the other ones except guava. So that actually has compounds in it that are actually increase fertility in and of itself. But just the same, that's why. So any of this stuff, you see people being like, you only got to use extracts when it's breeding time and this and that and this. That's not true. How about you keep your betas correctly all year round, and then they're really, really healthy all year round, and then preconditioning your betas, in theory, you could even just take them and breed them straight off the bat because you already have them healthy enough. But just the same, maybe you'd go and do it even more nutty, which is what we do, and then you still give them the increases of everything to get them even better in condition. And the reason why all this stuff works, and the betas are thriving, the colors and everything else, and they're so resistant to everything, is because they are healthy enough. They're healthy. You don't on purposely make your betas unhealthy all year round and just look like they're okay, and then you're like, oh, now's the time you're going to be really healthy. Keep them healthy year round. It's the best way to go. So anyways, that's pretty much the take on this. It's very important to have the correct start of your water parameters. Your water chemistry really needs to be ideal for this stuff to work. Like I said, I mean, if you have a high pH, then you shouldn't really be messing with betas anyways. But just the same, like all the effects of any of this, besides like, so the jackfruit and the guava, those have a little bit of compounds in them that'll actually work regardless, but as a whole, you're only going to see the most effect when your water is ideal. I went over this in the beta care video. It's very important to watch, so please watch that. You just start with ideal water. You really have no business starting with unideal water. You know, this isn't a solve-all, none of these are, but they are very, very good in preventative and even mild cases of things. So it's really important here. I'm going to end this video because there's not really much else to say about this one as a whole. Like it's just a generalized conditioner. It's good for, you know, everything else. Breedings, I guess I'll touch base on that one. The only thing I really use these for anymore is breeding specifically. Not even really preconditioning. I use it for breeding, and I just put it on top of the water. And when you do that, you just want to find ones that have like no visible anything on them, like nothing, a nice clean leaf, very even coloration and stuff like that, and you'll basically just float it. Be cautious with that though, because you know you got to kind of just find what each individual beta wants, but ultimately there's also assumed risk by doing that. Don't rinse the leaf before you use it. It helps it sink faster and therefore kind of voids the whole reason that you're using it in the first place on the top of the water. This isn't a breeding video, so I guess I'll just stay kind of out of that one for example. But so, you know, if you're going to use this for breeding and put it on top of the water, there is actually risks involved. Does it work? Yes, it does. Does it, you know, is it very good? Yes, it is. Is it, is there risks? There really is. It just depends. It's kind of something that you have to decide what you're willing to kind of go with. Like I said in the extract video stuff, don't put the leaves in the water for adult betas. It's really not, that's not, and if you did, that's you chose to do it, and then you yank it after 3 days, and but so like I said, that's your own business, not mine. But I don't do it. I don't do that. It's very rare. The only time that I'll actually put these in the water is like fry or breeding. Specifically, it's like very precise moves of like, I'll take that risk right now and we're gonna roll with this. But you know, if I get a shipment in and the breeder that they came from does do that practice, then I will try first to not give them that, and I'll give them the powder, and then if that's not working, then I will actually put the leaf straight in the water. That's, like I said, that's an assumed risk, and you do actually experience some issues in the big picture with it. It's really unadvisable to do, but it does have its purposes. So like I said, these are all risks that you yourself have to decide that you want to make. That's pretty much it. I'm going to end this video now. That's really not, there's nothing else to really say on this. Well, I guess I'll say for color matching for the extracts you're going to make on this one. For the color matching for the extracts in your tank or pond, you really want to do like a black tea color, pretty much. Like a normal cup, not super diluted. Or if you know on Jurassic Park that fossilized mosquito, it's pretty much in the ballpark of what you're going for. You want it to look like honey to amber. That's a good little comparison there. Honey to amber. If you go a little bit heavier, honestly, it's not going to matter. So it's pretty safe with any of this stuff. So just, those are the colors that you want to be seeing with this. Extracts. You use them any other way, that's on you. Just the same. I'm going to end this video and I'm going to move on to the next one though, because I'm really trying to get these videos out for you guys, and I was intending on doing it, but I always fumble with this because things are a lot more even complex than like what I'm saying right now. But I feel like all I'll do all day is just talk and talk and talk, and you guys are going to be like, just get off the camera. All right.